Shackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We apologize. Last week was a little wonky. There was a lot going on.
There was. It was just sometimes things got to get cut, and the podcast was the thing that got cut.
Yeah, so we do apologize. I know, especially as a avid podcast listener, I understand, especially the ones that I listen to in the morning when I'm getting ready. And if they someone is missing or they don't have one, I'm like, I just stand there naked outside of the shower, just refreshing my podcast link. And I'm like, where is the new podcast for me? So I totally get it. And just wanted to send our apologies.
Yeah.
So how's everybody feeling today? It's been mighty quiet behind the scenes. Usually, between songs and commercials, producer Kelvin will be like, did y'all see someone got stabbed by a shark on a sidewalk in Miami? Or Holly will be like, Maya School's calling me. What the hell? There was nothing. Everybody was just like,
there was a lot of clickety clacking of keyboards.
Yeah. So how's everybody feeling after, let's see, Thursday we did the telethon
I feel like that was like 5 weeks ago.
I know, it feels like forever ago. With WCNC Charlotte, our TV partner, about the fallen officers here. We were there for a couple hours manning the phone banks. That was Thursday. And then Friday we did our show live in Charlotte and South End at Ruby Sunshine. And then immediately we all went our separate ways to shower or refresh, and then met at Lovin Life, the music festival here in Charlotte, at like 1:30 Friday. And we were there until 11:30 for Post Malone. And then got up, did it again on Saturday all day, and then half the day on Sunday. How's everybody feel?
I want to go home.
I'm just a little.
I'm gonna be quite honest with you.
Like, I didn't even remember that we did the phone bank thing. That's how.
And First Thursday, which is our little celebratory.
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh,
so
that's
we were at work for a longer time
Cinco
than
de
we usually
Mayo.
are.
And then I also, to be absolutely honest, I also forgot we did the fan breakfast.
That's
right. Like I just feel like it was like hurdles. Like once you go over the next one, you can't be thinking about the one you just did. So like you just keep going. And I feel like now that we're back in the normal routine, I feel like I just ran a marathon.
Yeah, we experienced enough events and stuff over 4 days that'll go last a month. Yikes. I do want to start with, since we didn't have a chance to really dive into it, the phone bank situation that we did at WCNC Charlotte, because there was a couple of lighthearted moments in all the seriousness that we were dealing with. But Holly, just real quick, we're on the show, especially if you it's 96.1. Holly, tell us what happened last week. But just because we have some listeners that don't live here in Charlotte,
obviously,
and so they may not have heard this tragic thing that happened a week ago.
Yeah, it was a week ago. It was a week ago exactly today. Last Monday, there was this horrible shooting. It was some members of the local, CMPD, and also members of the U.S. Marshal Task Force, I think is what it was. They were going to serve some warrants and in a neighborhood in East Charlotte. And, they were trying to get to this one gentleman's house, and he just started shooting.
Yeah.
He ended up killing 4 officers, 3 members of the task force, and then a local CMPD officer lost their lives. And then he was killed as well.
Yeah.
The shooter. It was just, it escalated so fast. And so everything was locked down for hours last Monday. And then right away, people kind of sprang into action. And one of the things that came across our plate first was this email from our news partner, WCNC, who were like, we want to do something for the families, because between those 4 men that were killed, there were 8 children now left without fathers.
Yeah.
Just based on the amount of kids that each person had. And I mean, obviously that's not the only sad thing. Any family member or friend of these men are impacted.
Mhm.
And so I guess the people at WCNC were like, well, what can we do to quickly move on this and maybe raise funds? So they partnered up with Back the Blue because that organization helps out the families of officers. I don't know if it's fully just the officers that have lost their lives or maybe injured or whatever. And so they were like, we are going to send one of our news anchors to the radio stations Thursday. And so she did the rounds and was talking about what was going to be happening. And then in return, several radio
Ooh,
were going to head over to the news studio and literally man the phone banks. Now, when they told us that, we just thought, oh, we're going to be in a back room somewhere, literally just on a phone bank, which I've never done before
mm-mm.
in my life. So we just figured we're going to spend hour and a half doing that. Cool. Well, we get there to the news studio, and not only is it like an on-camera phone bank where they're panning and like it's a B-roll type situation, but they also decided they wanted to interview us
Right.
on the news too. So that was a bit of a surprise, but we did that. But it was a really impactful night.
It was a little hectic when we showed up to the studios because the news was still going on. So like right across the way, Vanessa and Jason Collins were doing the 5:00 news while coming over to us, and so you still have to be kind of quiet,
Right.
but that was the thing, and obviously that's the seriousness and the gravity of what we were dealing with, but there were some lighthearted moments in it. And I think one of the interesting points is when people were calling in and we were chatting with them, it was a lot of older individuals that live here in Charlotte, but
Yeah.
a lot of them had like New York accents that was really interesting.
Yeah.
And they were all like older because we had to like ask them like, hey, what's your email address? And one of the ladies was like, homo!
I know. I'm same. Oh my God,
Mom,
same.
what's my email address?
I had one lady that was like, I don't have one. And I was like, can I put something down? She's like, let me get my daughters. Like she was old.
Oh.
And I could hear paper in the background. Like she's like going through it. She's sitting in like her lounge chair in the
Yes,
living room
yes.
with her cordless landline. And she's shuffling through a drawer next to the table or next to the chair. And she pulls out like her daughter's email address. And it sounded like she was calling from a third world country
Oh my
because the
God.
connection was so bad.
Oh,
It was-
no.
It was wild. The people that, because it obviously they were having a QR code that you could scan and donate on the news. And so anybody probably under the age of 60 was doing that.
Right.
But like everybody else was like, I'm going to call the phone number.
Right. And they were, it was heartwarming, but then there was some hilarious moments. There was this one moment I was talking to a lady, and I guess as we were chatting, they were like showing us on camera, and she was like, which one are you on camera right now? And so I looked up and I was like, there's 4 guys here, and there was Holly. How do I say? And I was like, I'm the young African American gentleman in front. And then the woman pauses. She goes, well, you're very handsome.
I heard you say that. Like, I'm over here like, how much money would you like to donate? What's your email address? Can you provide me your phone number? And I'm over here listening to, I'm the young African American gentleman. And I was like, what is going on over there?
I know.
So cringy.
I know. I had like 3 or 4 of them ask me because
you said it a lot.
yeah, because they just would happen to see us taking their information down.
Nobody asked me which one I was. There was one lady though that was like, what's your name? And I was like, my name is Holly. I'm sorry. And so then I started saying that, but nobody asked me which one I was.
Oh my God. And then there was like one serious moment where I was just like, word choice. Because, in those moments when, we're having to like press the phone up to our ear to hear them, and it's hectic, and you're trying to, get people's information. And what happened was a good problem to have. So many people were donating that the website GoFundMe like crashed for a little bit. And so we couldn't enter the information on, so we had to take it down by hand. And so I was explaining that to one of the gentlemen, and I was like, hey, like once things die down here in the studio, the Back the Blue are going to enter in all your information. And then like, as I was getting his information, he was like, hey, just want to let you know. And I know there's a lot going on. I can hear it, but think about your word choice when you said die down. And I was like, well, fuck me. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, he goes, hey, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. This is me just trying to help because you're helping the community and I want to help you. And I was like, thank you for being gracious and having grace with me. But there's just so much going on right now. And I'm not thinking about my words. I'm just trying to communicate to you. So thank you so
Right.
much for saying that. And
I
then
don't
like,
know that anybody would have been
yeah.
like really triggered by that truly.
I
but
know, but then it threw me off for like
I
10
feel like
minutes.
he wanted to get on a high horse just a little bit. Like he's
Mm.
like, I know better just
I
right in this
mean-
moment. But I guess.
I guess it's better to hear that than like him continually saying die down
Right.
or waiting for this to die down. I kind of had a similar situation a long time ago when I was interviewing somebody for the Born This Way Foundation, and I kept saying like, man, I've been feeling so crazy lately, and it was for a mental health
Oh dear. Oh yeah. That's
interview that we were doing.
Why would you say that you're?
It's a normal thing. I was like, man, it's just crazy how things have been. I've been feeling so crazy.
That's true. That's
And
then you
literally when
probably-
it finished, she was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, we don't try to say those things. And I was like, fuck
fuck me.
fuck me. Literally, fuck me before fuck me was fuck me.
That's like the worst because it's like they know that you're not trying to make
Nobody's
anybody
trying
feel
to do it
bad.
on that's I guess where I'm landing. I'm like, nobody's doing it on purpose.
Right.
But yeah, I guess you do have to say it. I guess.
Right. And it's, I would rather someone tell me that. And because we say a lot of words at one time, and especially that day where we had done the show, we'd been
was
going, and
a lot
I
of
was
long
just like,
days.
it was. So I was like, thank you for having grace with me. But I like didn't forget about that all weekend. I was like, God damn it. But I will say though, their goal was $250,000 for these families. They're sitting at 229,000.
Damn. Okay.
So
Okay.
that is really cool. So
That's
if you
amazing.
yeah, so the fundraiser is still up. If you go to wcnc.com, you can donate there, or it's on GoFundMe. So that was Thursday, and then the live show was Friday, and that was just such a cool moment to have so many of the new Charlotte Miguel and Holly fam show up and show out, and we had a couple people that like stayed for like the entire time.
Yeah, that was
I
so
know.
lovely.
It was really neat that they wanted to come out and spend more than 2 seconds just getting their entry in to win those tickets.
Yeah.
They really were so gracious with us too, because we were running around back and forth doing the broadcast. I mean,
Right.
it's
And
hard.
I gotta tell you, like, this is the craziness about radio is like the stuff you don't see behind the scenes. So our first break, our show open happens usually around 5:56, 5:57. It's different every day depending upon the how
length
long
of
the
the
song.
music.
Yeah. And so we got there around 5:30 or so,
Yes, 5:30.
and they were like, we don't have power yet. So literally, was it 3 minutes before they
Yeah.
got like the power working in front of the place? And I was like, well, I don't know
Nothing
what's
like
about to happen, girl, but
waiting to the last minute. Our boss was very
Silly.
something.
Not silly. Not silly,
No.
but like the way he reacted was silly.
Well, yes, it was, but I was like, he was so turned up, but I was like, no, he wasn't.
Right.
He was angry
right,
Yes.
and he was upset,
right.
Claimed
but
he was sweating.
he
Mhm.
was sweating.
Furious was the word.
Yeah, furious. That's right,
Yes.
Kelvin. He looked like he had just taken a chill pill. Like he was so laid back. He looked like he was just out and about at Carowinds,
Right.
strolling with his
It's
family.
like, I'm furious.
He was just like, I hope you're ready to see me furious.
I was
And we're
I'm-
like-
he goes,
and-
I'm sweating.
And Kelvin said, where?
Where? I really did. I was like, where? Like
Yeah.
trying to make light of it, but
Right.
also I can't read her. And like that's not anyone's fault. I think we're still getting to know him a little bit.
Mhm.
But I was like, what? I was like,
I know.
you're furious
He's like, I'm,
and you're
Furious.
sweating.
and I was like, if everyone that was ever furious looked like you, we would have a very peaceful world.
A peaceful world.
It was so
Woo.
funny because when I got there, he was like, I am so mad right now. I was like, Are
You're like,
you?
Are you?
You're like, are you kidding? Is this a,
Like, I don't know. Are
is
you?
it a joke?
Are we?
He's a bit unflappable, that one.
Yes.
I-
Yes.
I wish I had that kind of
Even
even
evenness.
keel
Yes. Yes.
demeanor.
Yes.
Mhm.
Which is good because I feel like for a boss, you don't want to be too emotional because,
Right.
like, if I had been in his position, I'd be like, what the fuck is going around here?
And we have to be fair, we have had bosses like that.
Yes, we definitely have. Yep.
There was a boss we had years ago who probably would have like burned the restaurant down. Like he would have like banged on the door, like yelled at people, and we would have been like, you realize we're not paying to be here. Like
Yeah,
they're
it's-
letting us be here. So let's not
And it
speak to them
wasn't
that way.
it wasn't the restaurant's fault at all.
No.
It was not.
No.
Not at all.
It was it was several different things.
Right.
Mhm.
But it wasn't the restaurant's fault.
No.
And so it was just really bizarre to see him like that. Like, I don't know. I just don't see many people with that level of emotional, and maybe that's just because that's how he's built.
Right.
Because even in other aspects of life, like you said, Kelvin, like I can't read him sometimes, but I got to spend a lot more time with him this weekend than I ever have. Well, he's new anyway. But I think this weekend helped a lot because I genuinely got to know him more just because we had more time together
Mhm.
in various stages of both drunken and not drunken times. So I really like him a lot. Again, I was really glad that I got the opportunity to spend so much time with him because prior to that, I was like, I can't tell if he likes me or if he hates me. And I'm a feeler. And so I was trying to get a feel, and there is no getting a feel with this man.
Right.
No.
He is just, he's just here.
Here.
You
You're
don't
not
know
gonna-
if
you
he-
don't
No,
know.
I'm always gonna be like, he doesn't like me until he literally looks at me in the face and he's like, I like you, and that's not gonna happen. So
No, it's not.
it is what it is.
That sounds like my dating life back in the day. I'd be like, I need you to tell me that you like me, or else I will always assume that you don't.
correct.
Always.
Well,
Always,
yeah.
always.
Yeah.
So that was the live broadcast. So thank you to everybody that came out and supported. And then Lovin Life. I tell you what, I have to give the organizers of this thing so many props
Mhm.
because they obviously there are some things that they have to improve on because it was the first year. So especially for a lot of our Florida fam, like imagine if they just plopped a big music festival like in downtown St. Pete, which had never been done before.
Well, you have to, because there are music festivals in St. Pete. I was thinking about this.
But-
I was trying to explain it to my fiance, but it's different. Like if so, there is like that one park by what's that hotel over there? There's like a park where they do the reggae fest, Rise Up.
Right.
They do that, like that's there.
Right.
And in Tampa, they do the Sunset Music Fest at Ray J. So it's not
Right.
like, so you're thinking,
contained.
oh, people have this. Like, let's just say in the middle of downtown Tampa, in the middle of all those
Mhm.
high
High rises.
scrapers. I was trying to say skyscrapers and high rises at the same time. And it
High sky.
high
Sky
skies. They just plopped it down right in the street. Like the streets are blocked off for like a 3-mile radius.
Right.
That is what it would be like because it's different than having it contained to just one park.
Right. So it was all over. So just the logistics of, the entryway, getting in, getting
Right.
out. I mean, I just thought that I was just really impressed because I thought, to be 100% honest, that it was going to be mass fucking chaos. Like I was like,
Yeah.
first year, it's going to be long lines. Like it's going to be crappy. Like we're just going to have to get through it.
And I really didn't understand how they were planning on handling that many people. I was
Right.
like, I just don't know how this is going to go. I didn't even try to think about it because I felt like this might not happen again if it goes very poorly.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, they really, really did an amazing job.
Nicely spaced out too. There was
Yes.
not a moment where I felt like I was like rubbing with people
Right.
or bumping into them.
And then when you look at the shot from the drone from Post Malone,
Mhm.
because I showed my fiance that too, and I was like, but we didn't feel crowded. He looks at the picture. He's like, you didn't feel crowded in this. And I was like, okay, I take it back. In Post Malone, we were a little bit
Right.
cozier.
You guys got close though.
We did.
I
That's
was
the
not
thing.
doing that.
But there was
Uh-uh.
space to not have to do that if you didn't want to.
Yeah.
You could
Right.
Yeah.
be out. So I was just, it was so impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But again, and so someone listening to this who had GA tickets might not feel the same.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
we had main stage VIP passes.
Right,
And
right.
maybe that was the difference.
That's true.
No, that absolutely. I'm sure if you talk to someone from there, they'd be like, must be nice.
Yeah.
But it was cool. We got to get on stage and intro, which I've had the opportunity at our Spectrum Center here. It's sort of like Amalie Arena in Tampa. It's the big, for Tampa, it's the hockey, but for here, it's the basketball team at the Spectrum Center. I've gotten to get on stage for Trans-Siberian Orchestra and for one of our sister stations for a Czech presentation they do. And so that's probably the biggest crowd I've spoken in front of. And the first time I did it a couple of years ago, like I didn't think about it. Like for some reason in my mind, I thought it was like backstage and it was just like, oh, here's a Czech presentation. And then they were like, oh, no, you're going on stage. And I was like, wait, where's Holly? Is it me on stage? I don't even know the frequency of the radio station I'm collecting this for. But
Did
thankfully,
you say iHeartMedia? I'd be like, I'm Miguel with iHeartMedia.
no, well, I was like, listen, if you're gonna put me in front of this many people, I'm gonna say Hits 96.1 and Miguel and Holly. And I was like, I'm Miguel from Miguel and Holly, Hits 96.1 for our sister station 102.5 The Lake. So like that, but that was like a quick, like literally the guy's like, hey, I'm Miguel, thank you, and that was it. So this was the first time that we together, the three of us, have been on a stage like that big with that many people. And everyone, all of our friends that were there were like, were you nervous? I'm like, the first time I was nervous just because they were like, you have 45 seconds to say what you need to say.
Yeah.
And
the host was right behind us.
Right. And so
he
I
didn't leave.
No, like I feel like it'd be like the Apollo where he'd get like the little cane and like yank us off the stage if we went past the time.
Right.
I know.
So I was like, whew. So we did a secret contest for people that were there that if you listen 7:30 Monday morning and we said the word
banana,
you be caller 20, then you get tickets for the rest of the year for shows in Charlotte. And so that was really cool. I felt like the audience really responded to that instead of just a generic like, hey, we're Miguel, Holly, and producer Calvin from Hits 96.1.
Listen to us.
Yeah, like people were like yelling like banana, like when we would like be walking out and off the stage and whatnot. So that was really cool. But I just thought the whole experience was really fun. But I feel beat the fuck up.
I know. I was so shocked that my feet hurt that bad and my ankle, and I was like, oh no. Like I was so worried that I would not be able to make it. But like I held up the old girl held up. But it was a lot of fun. And I am glad that we had like intervals of like we got to work a little bit, but also just enjoy a little bit. And there were some really good performances and truly, yeah, like I've looked online. A lot of the it's like 50-50. The comments are really positive and also like some super negative or whatever from people who apparently put on their own festivals. I'm like, do you even like, it's difficult. Like, you know what I mean? They're like, you should have done this, and this. And I'm like, did you offer your help when they were planning?
Right.
But they're going to do it again. And I think that's amazing. And it'll be really cool to see how this thing grows.
I've done Rolling Loud, I've done Ultra, where you have to walk miles from stage to stage to stage, and this was relatively small. I mean, pretty good size either way. There was 2 big stages.
Yeah,
but man, it feels like I walked for miles. And I'm checking my steps, and I mean, I think in total we all walked, at least for me, probably like 4 miles, which is not too bad,
right?
No,
for something like that.
Yeah. But no, I feel also beat the fuck up.
I do too.
I had to do Icy Hot on Saturday, the day after. My fiance Oscar has a kind of like a sprain or something in his groin area. TMI. So he's not feeling good, and he's still feeling it today. My legs, and I ran for the first time in like months. Thursday right before the festival, so that probably didn't help at all.
Yeah,
it was a bad time to get back into running.
Yeah,
your body's like, I'm sorry, what are you trying to do to me right now? Excuse me, what?
Yeah, so feeling it.
recovering. So this will be a shorter podcast. I apologize. But before we get going, I do want to present to you something that's probably one of my favorite pictures from the weekend, but it wasn't anything at the festival. So we're going to talk about this on the show tomorrow, but there was a surprise party that we went to for one of my friend's partners. And Holly came. And so she was there with like all the gays and everything. And
I haven't seen this picture.
I don't know
think
how
I know
you
what it
guys
is.
went, actually. Like when Miguel was like, hey, come at 12. I'm like, what? What do you mean? We just did a festival day the day before after working for like 18 hours.
That's what I also thought. But then I was like, my fiance he told me he was going to be really mad at me if I didn't go, because he's like, when you go to Charlotte and you're not spending every moment of your time doing something that they have invited you to do, you're wasting it. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Like he was so mad.
Absolutely
He would have been so mad. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to go to this. I don't know anybody. And he was like, go. You need to go. You need to be at things. Why would you be in your hotel? And I'm like,
That's nice.
Because I'm resting. He's like, no. So after that conversation, I was like, what time should I be there?
Meanwhile, Kelvin was like, I'll see y'all at the festival at
the festival. I needed those extra 2 hours. Y'all are wild.
No, I totally get it. Well, I just wanted to be there for our friends. And since we were working and people had different seats and stuff, I knew I wasn't going to see a lot of people the whole weekend. But there was like one point for the people that weren't going to the festival, they were like drinking because this was like a brunch surprise birthday party. Well, there was this one point where like in our friend Layton's house, it's a smaller, older house. So the voices are just bouncing off the walls, and it was like reaching.
And the hardwood floor, the beautiful hardwood floors.
And so the voices were reaching a fever pitch. And then, there were a bunch of gays. So they were talking about, grown man gay stuff.
Yeah.
And Holly was right next to them eating her little plate of pasta salad.
Mostly I was making this wait. It was so loud. Like,
Holly,
it doesn't look like there's that many people there, but y'all, I felt like claustrophobic.
There's a girl right next to you, too.
Yes, there's a girl right next to me. They were making fucking friendship bracelets on the ground. They were like, somebody was tossing a balloon around. I couldn't hear anything. It was so loud. And I was so overstimulated.
So like I was talking to someone and I just happened to like look over and I just saw Holly in that position holding the plate, her face just looking like, where am I? What is going on? And I was like, hold on, let me get my camera out real quick, because Holly just looks like in a sea, just lost.
I was just in that moment, it was either before or after that moment, I was like, I need to go to the bathroom just so I can take a deep breath and not be near anybody for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic.
It was just so much stimulation. I was having a conversation. I told Miguel this. I had a conversation with one of the guys that I do know and I have met before. And we were only sitting like 5 feet away from each other. And I don't know what we talked about because I couldn't hear him.
Well, he's also a mumbler anyway. And so it doesnent help. But then in that situation, you really can't hear what he's saying.
I felt like I was dissociating. And he would like finish a sentence and like look at me. And I'd be like, I know, right? And then sometimes,
like, no.
Sometimes he'd be like, he wouldn't say anything. And then I was like, but the other point about what you were saying before, like, I don't even know what he said. I don't even know.
If we're talking about the same person, I know exactly who you're talking about. Been there.
Yes. We love him to death,
yes.
But Lord knows this bitch be like, so, it's gonna.
Don't you think?
And I was like,
yeah.
I was like,
I get it.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Oh. All right.
That whole thing was just, it was a lot, but it was very lovely.
I gotta go put some icy hot on my back.
Okay.
And my thighs.
It's
I
time.
need someone to massage my feet.
Okay.
Oh.
Kelvin, what you doing later?
Massaging my man's groin and his feet and his back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll be over around 3.
I have
No.
nothing to say to that.
No.
I got
We're
nothing
not,
to
bitch,
say.
I'm done. I got no more jokes.
Nope.
I got nothing sarcastic.
No
Nothing
more-
sarcastic, not
No.
sexually
Kelvin is
funny.
done
He
today.
said,
Yeah.
I'm done.
I'm good.
Kelvin,
How about no?
how can people find you on probably for nothing will be on his social media today, but further down the line this week.
I'm getting off of Instagram. At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. That's where you can find me.
Holly,
Radio Holly on all the things.
mine is at Miguel Fuller. We'll see you back here on Wednesday.